can your book title be the same as somebody else's copyrighted phrase? Let's talk to everybody's favorite IP and entertainment lawyer, Tony, to find out more.
My name is Tony Iliakostas. I'm an adjunct professor of entertainment law and IP at New York Law School, and I have an Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok account called The IP Professor that is dedicated to all things intellectual property.
We had a question come up in the book community recently where someone was creating their book. They were about to publish it, and they realized the title that they had created was the same phrasing as someone else's trademark. And there was a conversation inside of this Facebook group all about whether they could or could not do that. So let's break this down, Tony. If somebody is about to publish a novel and has that title that is somebody else's trademark, are they allowed to do it?
So it's all going to depend on a bunch of variables. I would say the one important thing to do is to look at the trademark registration specifically and see what classes of goods or services that trademark is registered for. And I say that because the premise of a trademark is that it serves as a source identifier of goods or services. So for example, I'm holding up Zen Water, right? So Zen Water has a circle R right over here. And likely if I were to search on the US Patent and Trademark Office, it would indicate that it's registered in classes of goods related to drinking, like water or, liquid containers, whatever. It would be very specific to the water that is sold in grocery stores. Starbucks registered in classes of goods and services related to coffee, coffee beans, coffee services, quick service restaurants, anything of that sort, maybe even in other aspects with their apps and maybe certain tech goods or service classes in that sense. So at the end of the day, when you register a trademark, the person that registered that trademark doesn't have autonomy over that word. They just have autonomy over that word in that specific class of goods and services. So Apple, for example, Apple is registered in classes related to technology. At the end of the day, they can't go after, some coffee shop that calls themselves, let's say, Apple Picking Coffee or something like that. Because even though it employs the word Apple within the broader name, it's not enough to cause some sense of confusion in the community. And bottom line also is that, when you also register a trademark, if you go all out and you register all those classes, the USPTO is going to perk up its ears and they're going to say something's up. And actually, that's very much frowned upon. And not to mention, you would have, if you're going to register for every class in the USPTO, you would have to show either use in commerce or an intent to use in commerce. So it's not like you can nilly-willy get that registration anyway. Now, that said, if let's say that you wanted to register a trademark for, let's say, Carry It With You. I only know this because I just recently looked this up. Carry It With You is actually a registered trademark in the USPTO. But Carry It With You as a registered trademark, let's say that it's registered in classes of goods related to luggage because of the carry word, right? If it's registered in classes of goods related to that and the name of your book is called Carry With You, books have nothing to do with luggage. There is not enough to rise to the level of consumer confusion. So it would be foolish for the trademark owner to say, hey, I'm going to sue you for trademark infringement because, first off, trademark cases are expensive. And the main reason why is because of the survey research that comes with proving actual consumer confusion. And number two, that's the hard part. You have to show that level of consumer confusion, and that's a time effort as well. It's not worth the fight in that situation. So if you know that they're in enough of a distinct class of goods and or services, it's enough to give you the peace of mind of knowing, hey, at the end of the day, there is no distinction. And bottom line is, we see it all the time. Titles happen to be named after certain trademarks out there. We're not in this space where we can, conscionably say that's enough to rise level of creating some sense of consumer confusion. So I think all in all, this is the kind of thing that I really wouldn't worry about. I think that it would be a bit more worrisome if, let's say, you were making a cookbook called the Unofficial Disney Cookbook. That might be a bit of a problem. That said, I think that if your book has no relation to an existing trademark in the USPTO, I think that's the kind of thing where you can take comfort in knowing it's not going to rise to the level of creating any actual consumer confusion.
And as always, if you do have questions, the best place to go is your lawyer. They will know much better than you if you need to be making some changes or if you are safe to progress forward with whatever it is that you're doing when you are creating your novels or things related to your novels. If you have further questions that are similar to this, go ahead and drop those down below because Tony is coming back for more episodes to keep us legally protected inside of the publishing space. And as always, you can reach out to Tony online. Tony, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at the IP Professor, and you can check out my entertainment law podcast called End Scene. New episodes drop every Friday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
If you have questions on the legal side of publishing, drop those down below. Tony's coming back for upcoming episodes. We want to make sure we are getting your questions answered, but we're also dropping episodes every single day to help you navigate the world of the publishing industry to make this your most profitable year ever.